to Movement Not Miracles. I'm Anna from Eat, Move, Be Happy, and we're going to be going through some upper back movement and mobility stuff today. Before I start that, check out www.eatmovebehappy.com/live better, our live better, change your eating habits and exercise habits one step at a time. Our coached program starts on Friday, and there is still time for people to enrol. So check out the website for more details on how you can avoid feeling trapped in this constant spiral of weight gain, which leads to pain, and in the current situation, extra stress. So www.eatmovebehappy.com/live better. Okay, let's get stuck in. So upper back, we are going to work through some moves just to help keep the upper thoracic region, the upper part of your back in between your shoulder blades in particular, and your shoulders mobile, to help look after your posture, work through some of the muscle strength, and to encourage better posture, more movement through the joints so that you can ward off those aches and pains. So we're going to start off with shoulder rolls, or we'll do the basic one first and then I'll get my strap. We're going to do some shoulder dislocates as well, so if you need to grab a strap to brace your arms against, it can be a dressing gown cord, a belt, it could be a broom handle, as long as you're not going to whack any light fittings. I'm going to be using a yoga belt. So to start off with, standing with your feet about hip width apart and with your weight evenly distributed. You can do these seated, so if you're sitting in a chair, make sure you're sitting at the edge of the chair and you're sitting nice and tall. So whichever way, standing or seated, we don't want this to happen. So we want to be standing nice and tall, shoulders back and down before we even start. So let's focus on getting the setup right. And then nice and gently, just to start off with, just start rolling your shoulders up towards your ears and then back and down. We're going for sort of a slow, deliberate move. Because I don't know about you, if you've been sitting at a desk for a long period of time, hunched over a computer, then it's really easy to end up in this sort of a position, and my upper back starts to ache. So just recorrecting, sitting in your chair, sitting upright, and just doing a couple of shoulder rolls, just to remind the muscles in your back, actually, we can do this differently. So aim for as big a move as you can and really squeeze those shoulder blades together on the back of your chest as you're rolling around. So I'm going to show you from the back so you can see, you won't be able to see my shoulder blades moving, but you should be able to see the writing on my t-shirt shifting, because there I'm really squeezing my shoulder blades together. So your shoulder blades should move around on your back, and that's what they need to move in order for your shoulders to move. So it's a good idea to keep that working. I'm just going to move away from the wall because I'm now going to introduce a nice big arm movement as well. And as you come up and over the top, think of rotating through your arms, through your shoulders, so that your palms come down as you lift around. So nice big stretch, as much extension through the shoulders as you can. My shoulders are quite stiff, so this is quite hard work for me. So we do what we can do. Right, now we're going to take that into shoulder dislocates. So you can carry on, if you haven't got a strap or anything to brace your hands against, then you can carry on doing shoulder rolls. That is better than doing nothing. So doing something is better than doing nothing. One of our top tips. So if you brace your hands, the wider apart your hands are, then the easier this is. And we're going for, I like this one because for me it helps me access and work through my particularly stiff shoulder joints, so I can get more movement through the joint. So as I get to the far extreme there, that's the bit, because I can push against the belt and really squeeze those shoulder blades together, which I find it harder to do if I haven't got anything to brace against. So there shouldn't be any pain. So only do as much as you can do. I'm going to try shortening the gap between my hands a little bit, which makes it much harder for me. But it's still working through my shoulders. So I can feel my muscles working, I can feel a stretch across the front of my chest, and I can feel the muscles in my upper back working, and I can feel my shoulder blades moving, but I'm not feeling any pain in the joint, and that's the key thing. We don't want there to be any pain. But you should feel some hard work in your muscles. Okay, there we go. So we're now going to do a bit of a stretch through the shoulders and through the front of our shoulders now. So again, making sure you can do this seated or standing, making sure that you are set up correctly, weight evenly distributed, and then grab hold of one arm, really rolling those shoulders back and down to start off with. And even with that now in my right arm is being supported by my left, if I show you from behind. So it's my right arm that's doing the work, my left arm is just supporting that arm behind, and I'm trying to roll my shoulders back and down so I can feel a nice big stretch through the front of my shoulder, through my deltoid muscles. There. And whilst we're here, if you just gently rock your head to one side, away from the shoulder that's being stretched, and you'll feel a nice stretch down the side of your neck. So if you feel any tension in the top part of your back here, then this one is quite a nice way of just stretching through those muscles there. A bit of a tactical waggle, and we'll do the same on the other side. So left arm round, supported by my right, and get yourself set up, and then just let that head gently rest away from that left shoulder. And a couple of gentle breaths. Normal breaths, don't extend your breathing or increase the depth of your breathing, but be aware of your breathing. Okay. What are we doing next? Oh, another shoulder stretch. Now this one is particularly tough for me, but again, it's a good way of encouraging the muscles in the upper part of your back to work and get your shoulders in a good position. So again, seated or standing, you're going to clasp your hands and straighten them out in front. So if I show you from the side. Now the tendency is for us to reach forward like this, which you might find feels nice, because it's a nice big stretch across those muscles in your upper back, which we will do in a minute. But what I want you to think about is keeping your arms connected into your shoulders. So you should be squeezing your shoulder blades together now to keep your arms into your shoulder joint. But when that happens, I don't want that to happen. So I don't want your bottom to stick out. So we're working through our glutes and through your tummy to keep this part of your body stabilised. So your bottom, I'm exaggerating, but your bottom shouldn't be sticking out. Bottom tucked under, so you're working through your glutes. If you poke your bottom, your muscles should be contracting. And if you poke your tummy, they should be contracting too. So work to keep that part of your body stabilised so that you don't put any extra pressure on your lower back. And then what we're aiming to do is, if you connect your shoulders, your arms back into your shoulders, turn your palms out and then lift your palms up, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. So your arms should be straight, and you're trying to get your arms back behind your ears, which is quite hard work for me. As you can see, my shoulder flexibility is not brilliant, I'll show you from the front. So my arms have a tendency to bend as well, so I'm trying to straighten my arms. So I have to really work through my shoulder blades and the muscles in my back. I'm actually working through my legs as well to stabilise myself to get this stretch to work. So relax and do a couple of shoulder rolls just to relax everything off, and then we're going to do that one again. I tend to try to avoid this one, but actually it's one I should do more because I do find it quite hard work. So I'm going to set up again. Arms out, palms out, arms connected into your shoulders, arms straight and then lift them up. Keeping them straight. You can see that my arms try and bend. Don't let your bottom stick out. And keep breathing. You're aiming for your palms to be facing the ceiling. I know you can't see my hands there, but my palms are facing upwards. Oh, arms straight. And down we come. Right, unclasp and have a bit of a tactical waggle and a bit of a move around with that back. And then we're going to do that one again, but this time you change the clasp. So whichever little finger was on the bottom, and it was my right little finger, this time the left little finger goes on the bottom. Just changes the way our hands interlock, which is might be a subtle change, but we'll do the same now with the clasp in the second way. So set yourselves up, get your breathing right, and up you go. And we're going to do that one more time because we know that second time is always better, and actually I can feel that I've got a little bit more of a stretch going on now because I've done this more than once. We get used to how things feel, and the first time we're always a little bit stiffer, and we always have to remind ourselves a little bit, and you need to get your head, I can't clasp my hands in a different way, you need to get your head in the right, understanding the right move. So it's always worth doing moves more than once, definitely a second time, but actually a few more times is also good. Okay, and relax. Okay, we're going to go back to some movement stuff now rather than a hold, a stretch and a hold. And we're going to start with a side bend. So for me, I like to widen my stride a little bit. If you're seated, exactly the same, sitting nice and tall, and we're aiming to get as much movement through the spine as we can, including that upper back. It's easier to get movement through the lower back and your torso section. But what we're aiming for is, if you think of your vertebrae being stacked, it's like one potato, two potato, isn't it? And it will probably start at the bottom, but see if you can keep that bend going through that upper back as well. So again, we'll just do a couple on each side to remind our back. And then we're going to introduce an arm stretch, which for me, that felt good. I think I've got a bit of a clunk there. Just helps me access my upper back a bit more, but you're going to feel a nice stretch down the side as well. So, I don't know whether you heard that one definitely cracked. Creaks and cracks are okay as long as you don't have any pain and you're not forcing yourself to get the crack. It's just my body settling down. then that stretch that I talked about before, we'll do that. And we'll do a standing version or a seated version. So this time when you clasp your hands, keep your hands clasped and really, there we go, really stretch your hands forward. I let my chin drop to my chest. And then keep your lower back supported, your bottom shouldn't be sticking out. And reach away as far as you can. Keeping breathing. And you should feel a nice stretch across all of those muscles in your upper back. And then you can connect your shoulders, your arms back into your shoulders, squeezing your shoulder blades together. And do it one more time. And a couple of final ones. So I'm going to use the wall for this one, stick-em-ups. Again, this is one I found particularly hard because of my difficulty in shoulder rotation. And I've also got a bar in the way. I didn't think of this when we put this up, but anyway, we can cope. So I want you to think about heels close to the wall, your bottom close to the wall, your shoulder blades on the wall, and your head should be on the wall. My head's going to stick forward a little bit because of this bar. And we're aiming for arms, so you're looking for a rotation through your shoulders. So I'm working through my shoulder blades and we're aiming for hands on the wall. Now, I really struggle with that. So go as far as you can go. Excuse me. But when you're in that position, what is likely to happen is your bottom's going to come away from the wall and your back is going to arch. That's your body trying to compensate for any lack of movement through your upper back and your shoulders. So that, keeping my lower back stabilised and in contact with the wall is quite hard work for me, and that's why we use the wall as a point of reference. It gives you some feedback on how much movement you've got. Because you could do this, standing here like this, but now I can't tell how far forward my arms are or how much my back is arching. So this way, oh excuse me, this way it gives me a bit more awareness of what's going on with the rest of my body. So we're going to lift our arms up, keeping in contact with the wall all the way, and then moving our elbows back down. If you can keep your wrists on the wall, brilliant. Do what you can do. So shoulder blades on the wall, and then all the way back down. I'm going to go one more. I swear this is one of the hardest things I do. Okay. Oh, a bit of a tactical waggle. I really feel that in my shoulders. And then final one, a twist. So you can do a seated twist. Sitting, imagine I'm sitting in my chair. You're going to reach over your leg, reach for the back of the chair and twist your whole chest round. So shoulders are back and down and you're in for a big twist through the body. And if you are kneeling like I am, we're going to do the kneeling twist. So one elbow, one hand behind your head, elbow to the opposite elbow, and then twist all the way up. Taking your elbow back as high as you can. And it helps to push the floor away with the hand that's supporting you. Don't forget to keep breathing. And then the same on the other side, and behind the head. I think this side is a bit stiffer for me. Okay, so hopefully your upper back feels a bit more mobile, a bit less stiff. Mine certainly does. My shoulders feel a bit better. Doing something little and often throughout the day is a good plan. It helps ward off those aches and pains. it's much better to try and prevent getting stiff and getting aching joints and aching muscles rather than trying to sort them out when they're aching. Sounds very sensible, but we don't always do it. So little and often, and focus on what you can do. So enjoy the rest of your day. Looks like the sunshine might be coming out a little bit, so fingers crossed. Enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to check out www.eatmovebehappy.com and check out Live Better. And I will see you tomorrow.